As to whether there will be a light bulb moment, we don't know whether there will be a light bulb moment. But we can just use examples. When the Prime Minister Tony Abbott came out and said we've always had bushfires late last year, there were some articles in the Conversation when they talked to the fireys, people who fight bushfires, emergency services, stuff like that, the people on the front line. They all believe something is happening. They're really keen to do something about it. So the people who are being affected, the people who've been affected by events that we can relate back to climate, they're energised. I think what we need to do is we need to provide examples. We need to show what works. We need to just get out there and do it. And in a sense, ignore what's being said in the mainstream media, but we can message what we're doing. Just get out and do stuff. Rather than, I don't think we can calculate those sorts of probabilities. I think we can make them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's any single light bulb moment. Different people have different light bulb moments in different places, and I suspect a great number of you in this audience have had a light bulb moment a long, long time ago. It is apparent, though, that people's perception of climate change is often really affected by their immediate observations of weather. So, for example, when we were all in the last El Nino-induced drought and there were water restrictions right down the east coast, there was a lot more collective action on climate change and a greater perception of the risk. The La Nina came, it started to rain, the dams filled up and everybody kind of went off the boil. We're heading for another El Nino probably towards the second half of this year, which could be a really, really bad one. And I think the public perception will probably swing on that. But I don't think there's a particular light bulb moment. One of the things that, though, I did start to appreciate when travelling around the country with the Climate Commission is that there's lots and lots of people doing lots and lots of things, both at an individual level, in their businesses, in their communities. It's really heartening. Don't be discouraged by what you read in The Australian. There are a lot of people. I know it's hard. Best not to read it at all, really. It's the only thing in the Qantas lounge, so unfortunately. Don't be disheartened by the worst of the worst politicians and the worst of the worst media. There's an awful lot of action going on, and it's really encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even need to answer, I guess. I think that for me, the probability depends what day you ask me. I think it ranges from 0 to 100. I think the thing that works for a lot of people is to realize that the cost of action on climate change are not as bad as most people make them out to be. I think there are a lot of co-benefits to both mitigation and adaptation activities. And I think people are realizing now the cost of inactions are high, and I think people will eventually realize all the benefits of acting for other reasons, and they'll start to do things and call them other things if people don't like climate change. But I do think, the carbon tax in Australia is probably an example where the sky didn't fall when that was implemented, and people will start to realize that over time, that a lot of the scare tactics won't work so well anymore.